things for the most part. Doubt we're going to see any Symmetra, much to my own disappointment, but right now Fear is queued up on a defensive Hanzo, which could be interesting.
Yeah, and I mean, Hanzo has such such a great advantage in terms of being able to clear a lot of these chokeholds, but at the same time, holding that initial yellow wall point is super, I guess, super fun with Hanzo, where you can spam your scatter shot around the corner at stairs and try to cut people off, or you can even spam it within the gap itself. But at the same time, if you can build up ult very early on, hey, you can throw your ult right through any of those gaps and then maybe push them off and maybe delay another push.
Yeah, he has left spawn with this Hanzo, so on the defense for Secret, it is going to be Bunna on the Zenyatta, Fear playing on that aforementioned Hanzo, Laser will play Lucio, Raytech on McCree, Bonnie is going to be playing the Zarya, and Indy will round it out on the Reinhardt.
Yeah, and on the other side, well, I guess we might as well wait until I guess they formalize their rosters in 17 seconds. But right now we have Midnight on the Zarya, Spirit on the Genji, FaZe on the Lucio, Locke on the Zenyatta, Xritzi on the on the McCree, and Desro on the Reinhardt.
Yeah, Rexy has had really nice games for this team, too. His McCree has been a joy to watch. They're going to hold high ground pretty early here. Let's see if Fear can get some early damage. He's got the golden bow.
Yeah, and right now they're holding the exact angle they want. All they want is just to spam out, gain some ultimate charge, and this is more aggressive than the previous approaches where you typically just hold that specific point in there. Right now they rotated back. They're not trying to get caught out of position in that aspect or another. But this is a great opportunity right now. Spirit's on his own, and if they can get a quick pick on the side of Fear, maybe that changes that entire fight.
Yeah, Fear continues to just pelt in the damage, but it's Xretzi actually going off first. They trade kills early on, 5v5 right now. Fear still in the back lines trying to get a kill. He does take down Midnight, so it is still even 4v4 right now as he continues to pepper away. There he goes, finally down from an orb from Locke, and now it is getting very brawly on the point, but it looks like Xretzi on the cleanup. Locke continues to chime in on his Zenyatta. That is a super successful first push, extremely quick there.
Yeah, I think the defense kind of forgot what the job of this escort type map was, and they just kind of let it proceed right through trying to take out the fight. But at the same time, props for Fear for still keeping on to the Hanzo. I do think this is a good move. He has ultimate right now, which Save the Dragons I think honestly is such a strong ultimate in terms of getting people off a payload and stuff like that. But right now they're taking the high ground, which periodically could be a huge thing.
Yeah, Fear remains on this Hanzo. He's trying to get eyes on it too. He wants to get a giant dragon going. That is the point up here, but Spirit has been super annoying to him in the back line. Spirit trying to get his Dragon Blade going. He does get one, gets a not much else as he tries to slash, but the dash does reset. He takes down Fear as well. He's looking for more on this cleanup, but he does not need it as his tanks do the cleanup job for him. So another extremely decisive fight. The only thing really going in the favor of Secret right now is that everyone has their ultimate available.
I mean, but at the same time, it's great to have their ultimates, but they just didn't use them in that last, so it's a little distressing. And right now, they're still being a little caught up in their base. They're not all out on the point yet, and it looks like they might be getting this point out entirely. That great Graviton.
Here comes the Dragon 2. It comes through, one of the most unstoppable combinations if you do not have Transcendence, of which they do not. Locke had used it earlier in the fight. Some nice cleanup. Xretzi trying to put his team back on the board, but he is soloed out here. And yeah, this is really nice stagger. I was wondering if someone had DC'd there for a second as they just jumped around him, but no, just kind of trying to stagger that death as much as possible. And as bad as it had gone for the first couple fights, they finally do bring it back there.
Yeah, and honestly, that's a great time to use all your ultimates, but the big problem is, luckily they still saved 3, so that's honestly a really good result as a part of that. They do have a lot of defensive ultimates, and Indy still does have his Earth Shatter, so this push that they're going through in the side ground, they have the high ground on it, they can jump down and have a great Earth Shatter.
I love this angle that they're taking here. Now they do get spotted out. Now the Earth Shatter does get one, but Sound Barrier comes down as well. High Noon is going off into all of these people on the ground. Xretzi only gets one. Transcendence comes out to try to save his team. Back and forth again in the kill feed. Who is going to pick up these last couple kills, and by proxy the fight? Fear going absolutely crazy. He does get the Zarya bubble. He's looking for those discorded targets, but Desro knocking down 2 with his hammer. They're taking this fight. That is going to be point captured.
Yeah, and You know, they have so much momentum on term of this next step right now, where I think honestly they have a lot of ultimates built up, and you know, Spirit has ultimate right now, so this next point can be easily cleared by them. Locke also has ultimate as well as Desra. You know, on the other side, only Fear has ultimate right now, and Raytech is slowly, I think, about to hit in, I think, on next 2 pot shots that he ends up taking, but this is super dangerous for the side of the defense right now. They don't have a lot of ways to react.
Well, we've talked about how is a team going to try to deal with this on the offense, one of the hardest points to push, but that's one way. Dragon Blade is coming out, going through the top. He takes down Raytech immediately. Spirit looking for more in the backline, takes down Bunny, takes down Laser. That is both supports dead. Not long for this world are the tanks without their friends to heal them. That is it. Spirit with the initial Dragon Blade kills, taking them down. Now he's going to push forward, looking for more, and really, it could be Midnight just completely ending this round and fight for them as he's got Graviton up. He does get stunned out and deleted immediately, though. Here comes a push from the offense as Xretzi and Banny trade back on kills back and forth. These fights have always been so back and forth. It's always the last couple kills. This time, it looks like Secret's going to be the one holding them as Banny puts them on her broad Russian shoulders.
Yeah, and honestly, Ray Holt from the defense was able to use the fact that they're so close to the entrance to just wear them down slowly and surely. But right now, they do have Banny with the ultimate, which is huge, as well as Bunny, I think, going to have the ultimate in literally, I think, around like 10 seconds. But that means they have a lot of defensive tools they can now use, which makes the offense's job a lot harder, considering they don't have the Dragon Blade, they don't have, you know, Deadeye, they don't have, you know, the Earth Shatter for now, so they might not have a lot of options.
They all get locked into this Graviton, but the Sound Barrier is going to save them in this corner, at least momentarily. The Earth Shatter comes down, Midnight on the cleanup as well. Desra swinging his axe, trying to get it going, but there comes the opposing Graviton. Do they have the cleanup for this? There are 4 locked in, but they all get out. Sound Barrier comes in late to keep everyone alive. Fear and Bunny can add up to get a couple. There goes Fear down on this fight again. Super back and forth, 3v3 on the cart. Here comes Spirit now with his Dragon Blade. He gets taken out immediately. That is going to be a hold again for the defense, and it just kind of stresses how hard Dorado is to take on last. These fights have not gone super poorly for Rise Nation, but if they go even partially bad for the offense, that is it. Those fights end up being permanent. No mercy here for Resurrections, nothing like that, so you need to win these fights extremely decisively, and even though their initiations have been pretty good, they just have not been able to get the final couple kills, leaving too many people alive. Spirit switches off the Genji, now onto the Reaper.
Yeah, and he's playing super sneaky right now, trying to come in, but man, that engagement from the defense punishes them so hard. Desro does take out Fear, which is good when you have 1 DPS deal less, but where's the Reaper right now? And that's the big thing that you're going to look at. Spirit does take down the Laser right now to make that, wow, so much easier, and they're just pushing the point. They're just pushing the payload onto the point right now. They don't have time.
One of the ways you lose Dorado last is by trying to be aggressive on the defense, which is exactly what they did. Push the corner, caught myself off guard as well. As I was waiting for them to set up, they just kept running down that hallway, tried to take a fight to him, got aggressive on that defense. The aggressive defense did not pay off for them as they got completely mopped up, so that is going to be a completed map on Dorado at the very least, but only a minute and 46 left in their time bank. Any sort of full hold defense will win the map.
Yeah, and I mean, this isn't looking super good. They just kind of got rolled in that kind of aspect. Yes, they did get stopped on the last point a lot more, but at the same time, the offense had a very strong initial, like, you know, first point take and then through the street phase as well. So that's definitely something we have to take a look at on that aspect. But, you know, there was a lot of good things that came from the defense in that second part. I think there are a lot of great Graviton surges from Benny, and I do think Fear, you know, hey, Fear definitely could make the change, could be the change for this game, but it's going to be a lot of more cohesion and being able to punish, you know, punish those long walks from the first point. I think that's going to be the strategy at here, and if he stays on that Hanzo, you know, that's something that could definitely work.
Well, it looks like Hanzo is definitely in season for now. Fear just really enjoying that Hanzo, stuck on it most of the game. Last game, looks like he's going to be queued up on the offense. What do you see on the defense? Is there anything out of the ordinary?
Honestly, there's not a lot out of the ordinary. I do think it's interesting that Spirit is opting for the Genji rather than the Reaper. We did see he did switch onto the Reaper temporarily, but I think his main goal might just be to get into the backline and create disruption. And, you know, as usual, being able to pull out that Dragon Blade and have that mobility and stay alive, I think is super important.
Yep, so both Shimada's on the map for now, as I think Fear will actually roll out of this, but he'll probably switch off just to spite me. Luckily we're on a delay, so maybe it won't be purely out of spite. So, yeah, Hanzo is, you know, used to be kind of a niche pick, and then it's like, well, he's here and there, and now it just seems like a lot of teams want to run a Hanzo in any situation they can, especially if you have someone who's as good a Hanzo as Fear has proven himself to be.
Yeah, I mean, it's the main part where, you know, instead of shooting like rocket ships, you're now shooting like huge tree trunks now, but they're going faster, a lot faster than they usually do. So I think it's, you know, definitely a lot to look into in terms of how you utilize this character. But he's doing exactly what he needs to do. All he's doing is putting in damage, trying to knock down the shields. And I mean, the side of defense, they're giving up this first chokehold so easily. I'm not even sure what they're. Are they just trying to make that last push through that little house on the right? But I don't really know why they give you so much room.
They did give up a lot of ground, playing very passively. Ryan games go on, though, as that is Desro taken out by his counter number there. It goes to Spirit and Retzi with a couple kills. Retzi adds in more right now, and that is a full cleanup for Rise Nation as they just completely punish that push. That's one of the things that you do see teams that will play further back do. When they're playing that far back, they are kind of waiting to get the right position in. It's something that we saw in the earlier rounds, too, that they just wanted to hold that room. They're going to take the fight on their terms as the defense.
Yeah, and actually, this actually makes getting onto the payload actually a little more difficult because it's not in that little gap that it normally is. But right now, Indy's just trying to put it out of shield, trying to buy some more room. They should go onto the side. They should honestly pincer in. They should use that stairway to kind of divert the attention of the defense because right now the defense is playing super safe right now. They're just making sure they're coming in and they're forcing them to engage on them.
Spirit with Dragon Blade at the ready here. We'll see when he wants to bust it out. The initiation does go down without him, though, as Retzi takes down one. Laser, though, gets the cleanup late midnight, and Fear trade kills back and forth 4v4 right now, so they're going to use that 4v4 and go in with it. The Dragon comes out to try to deny any cleanup on this Graviton, but Midnight still gets in, launching Zarya bombs, and that is another full cleanup. This is not looking great right now for Secret.
Yeah, and man, how does Spirit still have his ultimate? That's kind of ridiculous almost on that side. But that's great hold right now from them, and the fact he doesn't have to use, you know, his defensive Dragon Blade, it speaks volumes of how well this team is coordinating right now. But the fact is they have so many tools to mitigate damage. They do have a Sound Barrier right now, and they do have an Earth Shatter. So this engagement is probably going to be a trap too. So Graviton comes in, drags a bunch, but they Sound Barrier right through it. Raytech takes out Spirit, though, and Retzi, both DPSs now down for the defense, and it looks like it's offense's chance finally. Desro trying to bring it back, swinging his Golden Hammer, unable to get more than one kill off of it as Banny and Bana combine for another couple kills. Fear with the cleanup, that should be it. That is going to be first point, so they gutted it out at the last second, only a minute 20 left, or they would have lost this first map. So right now, Secret in decent position as they're trying to get some poke forward. It is Fear up top here, getting that poke in. That is always a Genji's job on this map after you take first point, trying to deny them the upper ground here, but they can only deny for so long. Yeah, and I mean, right now, in spite of that, they do currently have the high ground, and they do have a decent amount of ultimate. Spirit still has the ultimate because he died during that last fight, so this might be a blessing in disguise if he's able to capitalize it. But it's all about Indy. If Indy can catch him out or catch another member of the DPS out with that Earth Shatter, he could change the entire fight and give them a lot of momentum into that last point.
Well, you have Graviton into Dragon Blade now. As the Dragon Blade comes out, Spirit gets one, Spirit gets two, takes down Raytech and Laser early on, grabs a third in his counterpart in Fear, gets a fourth in Bunny, a huge Dragon Blade as Spirit channeling his spirit animal of Genji, taking down 4. The cleanup comes from Midnight. Spirit's got to feel good about that one.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, he comes out of it on top, and he's already got 33%, which is huge. Desro has ultimate, Midnight both has ultimate, so they still have a lot more room in terms of maneuver on that aspect. Fear is still at 12%, but Raytech is going to be the man to watch here. If he can land a great Deadeye and pick up maybe some targets, you know, hey, just catch someone out, maybe a lucky headshot or whatever like that, they can definitely change the fight.
Graviton comes in from Midnight, and he just leaves it behind him, letting his team clean up that Spirit behind him. Great job to just drop it down, zone in, target behind it, letting your DPS behind you do the damage work as you just keep everyone else from helping them do so. Really nice job from there. Spirit does clean up 3 in that fight, takes down Fear towards the end as a trickle. I gotta say, between the two Genjis, Spirit's having a much better game.
Yeah, and that's just, I mean, this is an important part on defense. I didn't really, you know, entirely believe that it would work, but, you know, he's playing very safely. He's not trying to, you know, abuse the fact that his mobility, he's not getting caught out. He's using those to his advantage. As you can see, they're playing super defensive. They're not trying to take advantage. They're using the high ground, you know, as a jump pad, basically, to proceed further. That Winston comes up, Bonnie's going to get kited out. He has Retzi, picks down Fear, Laser, and Banny just gets next down by Midnight. Bunny does take down Retzi in response right now, but that Transcendence isn't going to help you very long. Only going to mitigate so much damage. That Earth Shatter does get relatively mitigated by the Reinhardt shield. So right now, Indy and, you know, Raytech, oh my god, Raytech gets taken down by Midnight.
They both should die here. Indy does charge out though, so smart, and it's going to be Banny actually coming in on this Winston to try to reinitiate on the tanks, but the Earthshatter comes in from the opposing tank in Desro. He had Sound Barrier, so he's going in. Midnight again with the cleanup on Zarya. His name has been in the kill feed all over the place. It's one of the things I noticed early on with this Rise team is just the high level of Zarya play that I think is almost required on good teams nowadays.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about landing Graviton Surges, but the interesting about Zarya is one of the only characters that can be her own follow-up. Not only is she able to lock down a punish, she's able to generate a lot of damage with her shields and her ultimate charge. And basically, I guess, just like gaining charge and getting to that 100% mark, or that, you know...
They're trying to sneak around the backside. They're taking a different angle, although they do get spotted out here. Now they do have the high ground. They're going to jump right in. Fear going in. Deep dive right now. Got his blade out. Gets stunned, but the blade is still going as he tries to get revenge on the McCree who tried to stun him. He does get that. Is there any more? He's got Zenyatta in the backline. He's going to get discorded. He's trying to reflect. He does pick out the Zenyatta with the help of his team. Winston comes in with the cleanup, as does Raytech. That is a nice fight for them. It all starts on the angle they took there, too. They don't want to have to get collapsed on from the high ground. They decided to take the fight on the high ground with the opposing team, and a nice Dragon Blade, too. Banny and the front line. He does get a kill, but he should die. No, he gets out. A discorded Winston with a nice leap, able to escape that as well. So Fear now is turning it back, doing a better Genji impression than Spirit has. We'll see. It is last point Dorado, though. A minute 35 left. 2 pushes to really finish out this map and take it away.
Yeah, and honestly, right now on the side of the offense, right now, they don't have a lot of tools, but defense right now has the ability to Earth Shatter in a few seconds as well. So but that, you know, that data comes out to zone tools. Banny's trying to get onto Red Sea. Oh man, Red Sea does take down Raytech in return, but gets taken down by Banny. But they can kill Banny. Banny's still alive right now. He's dividing the rest of the team in the background. Banny does take down Locke, and I don't know how he's still alive.
He Primal Rages now is how he's exactly alive at this moment, but he should have been dead much earlier. Really nice patience out of Retzi. He was getting pushed down by Banny the entire time. Banny's still up. They are going to Sound Barrier to try to keep everyone alive, but that Sound Barrier is fading as Banny continues to just cause mayhem on this back line. Finally, they take down a tank, and there goes Laser, so they're going to have to back out eventually. Banny gets another kill before he gets out. What is going on with Winston's today?
Man, they're just going off. I think this might be the new period where, you know, Harambe died, and now, you know, they're just channeling their inner gorillas. They're trying to fight back. You know, they're trying to say, you've taken advantage of us enough. We're trying to fight back. But I'm more serious.
We had a talk before Scream, Scribe. I told you not to bring up the Cincinnati Gorilla, and you've just done so. Now you're probably chat's favorite guy.
But that great Graviton Surge gets mitigated immediately out by that Sound Barrier. He charges in, hits the carpet. I think that's more than enough. Banny's still in the backline trying to take down as much damage as he can. Honestly, the fact that he's pushing Spirit back so Spirit can't do any damage. He's just trapped in there right now. He's trying to grab the health back, but finally takes down Banny. But the thing is, you know, that fight in the background is still able to go along very well. That great Earth Shatter does take it down. Unfortunately, the offense is just out of health right now, but Bunny does take down Ritzy, and they weren't able to cap.
That's Rise Nation taking the first map off of It's a Secret, and one of the things there is you cannot leave a McCree just to his own devices, especially on last on Dorado. I've seen it time and again. It started off with some Deadeyes there, but then just the follow-up from Retzi, who I mentioned before this map started. Just a phenomenal McCree, and he was completely unpushed out. He was the one able to avoid Banny on a lot of that. Now, this is not TF2 Banny, I don't think. Banny. It's definitely not TF2 Banny. Here comes the Dragon. This is that unstoppable combo. No Transcend up. Transcend's the only chance you have to live through that.
Yeah, and I mean, that's exactly where it can be used for in terms of that wombo combo as well. But, you know, great job in terms of the State of Dragons right there, but that just wasn't enough at the end of the day. And honestly, that's kind of the part which is a little disturbing. That last fight was that Banny had, you know, taken out Spirit from most of that fight, so there wasn't a lot of damage going in, meaning that they essentially in the background of that fight lost a lot of, you know, basically lost the fight without that much DPS support. So that's initially, I guess, a little worrying at the time. But with that being said, I think they did have a good showing, definitely did a lot better than expected to do on their offensive side. But that at the end of the day, just didn't have enough to push through.
Okay, so we'll see where Secret wants to take us to next. Perhaps it's still a secret. So just a brief recap of the bracket going on. Of course, if you want to follow the bracket, we are in Phase 2 of the GosuGamers North America Weekly number 19. Hit !bracket in chat and they will hook you up with the link. Now we've got FaZe versus GVS is on the other side of this. The winner of this matchup that we're currently in will face the winner of that. Tempo Storm is playing. It's a Rick and Morty reference team. It's like Kefenris Mikes or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
That's who they're playing. That's the new Tempo squad. Of course, a lot of that team was the old Northern Gaming Red. And then Kongdu is facing off against Kongdu. One of the reasons I didn't want to go to that quarterfinal, because how do you call that game? Kongdu 2 versus Kongdu.
Oh, you can do what chat was to and talking about where, you know, it's Kongdu and it's Kongdu number 2. So if you take the second half of the word Kongdu and you apply the number 2 to it, I think that we could, you know, use that potentially as a differential. But yeah, I mean, you are right. I actually am kind of excited because a lot of what we've been seeing here is a lot of NA versus Korea kind of showdowns where it's a lot of, you know, two different sides of like how to play Overwatch. But I'm very excited to see how Korean teams react to each other in terms of being able to react to that same, you know, MOBA style gameplay where you do, you know, you take time, you try to get a numbers advantage and try to work that into the victory. So I'm very excited. You know, maybe we'll see them make a run through the losers bracket. Unfortunately, if they are part of the same organization, they do have to go through a team kill, which is a little unfortunate. But at the same time, there is a losers bracket for that exact reason. And if we see them in the grand final, that's something very exciting to look at.
Yeah, I just know that I would have made the terrible joke of Kong do and Kong don't. So I'm kind of glad we're able to avoid that one. Of course, this is the GosuGamers North American Weekly, brought to you by our wonderful sponsors, Matcherino. You know the spiel by now. Exclamation point Matcherino in chat. Go there, donate your dollar for free. That is coupon code GGNA19. Donates your dollar for free. If you want to leave us a message or donate on top of that, that money goes directly into the prize pool. And our sponsors, Ting, gg.ting.com, everything you need to know, and $25 if you want to check it out. Actually, if you donate $5 on Matcherino, you get a free GSM card. If you want to try out Ting, just pop it in your phone, see how it works for you. And of course, our friends at OWKings.com, premium Overwatch content. Coupon code GOSU gives you 10% off for the life of your subscription.
Awesome. That's wonderful, dude. I'm actually really excited in terms of being able to travel abroad. You know, SIM cards are pretty expensive nowadays, pretty difficult to get, but Ting does provide them for only $9. If you are planning on going abroad, hey, you know, pick up a new SIM card and have fun using your data plan abroad. So, lots of positive things there.
All right, Kings Row it is. Rise Nation is up 1-0 at the moment over Secret, so this is a best of 3. Should they win Kings Row, they will be moving on, awaiting the winner of that FaZe match, which we expect would be FaZe, but hey, anything can happen in these weeklies. FaZe has to be a little bit fatigued. They've got a lot of players playing all over the world right now in all sorts of different tournaments. I know, as I mentioned earlier, I was bugging Too Easy, and he's like, dude, I'm playing in another tournament. That was an hour before this tournament even started, so maybe that comes into it, but those guys are just grinders anyway, so perhaps not.
Yeah, but fatigue is definitely a thing that you have to kind of consider, mainly because, hey, they might not have spent a lot of time going to the lab, and more importantly right now, I don't know if FaZe has spent as much time preparing for Kongdu as, you know, some of the other teams, because, you know, they might not be on the radar. They might honestly be scouting out some of the more European rivals to get through the qualifier, and especially, I mean, Too Easy, man. He's on a team right now with like Lux, like a Benelux right now, so he's definitely had to put his fair share of, you know, looking into exactly what teams are in his bracket, what teams are in his group, and as well as if he makes it out of groups, what teams he has to confront in the knockout stage. So there's a lot of research going on there. But as you can see on the side of the offense right now, they are running, you know, Fear is still on that Hanzo, so that might actually be something that they're looking into. But Bonnie is on that Roadhog, which is something to be kind of excited about. I think Roadhog is super strong in terms of getting picks out of the way, and Laser is on that Mercy, so get ready for some big time reses.
Yeah, nothing super out of the ordinary from the defense of Rise Nation at the moment, so we're going to watch Bonnie as he rolls out here, see if he can get that early hook. That's exactly what they're looking for, safe behind the shield. They do see him, though, so they're going to probably try to play a little further back, not allow him to get those hooks in. They're going to definitely try to stay behind the shield, so it's good old days of Kings Row, just Reinhardt versus Reinhardt shield battles. The poke goes down. Midnight's trying to get some of that early damage in, and right now with no shield down, that's going to stall out the offensive push, at least for a little bit here, as both teams... This is just old school Kings Row. Back and forth, who's going to push first, which one's shield is down a little bit more, but the right side going in, trying to get the flashbang over the top of that shield. Bonnie does come in, takes down Spirit. Another charge will start off, but that is just putting himself in peril as he goes down. Bonnie finally cleaned up as well. There goes Raytech. That's a pretty nice hold, but all is for naught as the sneaky Mercy comes in last second from Laser, gives his life for that resurrection, able to bring up his whole team, but that is Rise Nation just doing it again to him. What is that, 12-0 now in very short order?
I mean, I don't entirely agree with why they did that. I do understand, yes, Laser is kind of thinking, well, you know, I can get to play the game if I only res 5, but the problem is...
Yeah, you think that's what he's going for, play the game?
Who knows, man? You might as well take something out of this game, right? I'm kidding, but I think, honestly, what he was going for was kind of like his, you know, his eyes were bigger than his stomach there, where he tried rezzing, but he rezzed in the middle of a lost team fight, and by that time, out of that first team fight, there was a lot of ults up and rezzes them straight into Graviton Surge, and now, no, man, that's not a good way to do this. Raytech does take down fast, which is super strong right now. Return Earthshatter to knock down initially Indy, keeping Indy down a lot. Desbro is taking down the backline, so is Retzy. Retzy's just going absolutely insane right now, cleaning them up. I mean, have any of them died yet? I'm pretty sure one of them probably died.
It's about 16-0 in terms of kills. I wish I could hit tab and show you the stats. But Midnight was running a super sneaky Zarya in there. He was in small pack and statue, waited for them to rotate right around both sides, drop that Graviton in the cleanup Spirit towards the end there as well.
And this is all about what they can use right now. The offense does not have a lot of tools. They have to rely, and Retzy takes down India, which already isn't a great thing. Fear does go down again from Retzy, and oh man, Midnight, but that res is a good tempo res, does res Indy in the back line. Hopefully he can make some disruption, but man, they're just too coordinated on that back line threat. When you have no front line threat to, you know, force them back or force their attention diverted, they just be taking them out. This is honestly, this is a slaughter.
That is definitely the correct term. There's no other way to say that one. So they have all the ults in the world to push with. Raytech has had enough of being McCree. He's on the offensive Tracer now, something you almost never see on King's Row, even though you would think it would be her home map. The Graviton comes in the backline. Spirit cleans up one. He is back on the hunt with this Dragon Blade, gets another swipe, and should be able to clean up Raytech at the end. Does so with the dash reset, is going to clean up the Winston as well. And really, there's been no answers for the DPS of Rise Nation. Spirit and Retzy have done whatever they wanted to this team.
Yeah, and they don't have a lot of time left. This is all going to be on Fear right now. You know, honestly, Fear's kind of in a really bad position where the win condition right now to push the point is for him to get a Dragon Blade off and kill 2 people. But he has no support in terms of the backline. Right now, he has to go in with Winston right now in the backline. But if he gets stunned at all, that's what does go for the solo. Earthshadow misses everything, just tries to kill out the Genji, knowing that that's the win condition. Vanny does take out Midnight. Fear is just going on a rampage, and this exactly was the win condition they needed. And Fear doesn't even need any help in the rest of his team. He just goes in and cleans up the rest of the fight.
Genji is still pretty good. Dash Reset is a really nice ability, very snowbally ability. He got to the back line. I think that Earthshatter came out and he was able to just narrowly avoid it, kept him alive. Got stunned by McCree back there too. Was able to live through it and get his vengeance off as well. So that's exactly what they needed. Fear able to do that. Well, here the next initiation comes from not necessarily a map that you always see Winston on, but he is up and ready, has his Primal Rage at the ready as well. So maybe Raytech gets in here, tries to get a nice Pulse Bomb too. They're all hanging pretty far back though, knowing that they need some progress on the cart. So the next initiation might actually come out of the defense. They've got both their DPSs up, ready to rumble as well. A charge in comes in. Spirit taken down early by Raytech. Vanny takes down Desert. It is 6v4 right now. This secret team finally showing some signs of life as Fear continues to get in the backline. Gets a nice Zarya bubble to continue his rampage. This should be them cleaning up. Vaz is going to try to delay the cart, which is what Lucio's do best. Does so momentarily until he is taken down. Now both DPS are moving forward. Raytech is trying to hide in the corner. I think they might try to bait it out so that he can get a Pulse Bomb in. Nope, he's going to show himself, just get back onto that payload and get that progress going. The next combo might be one of the few big bangs we've seen all day, as it is going to be Bonnie at the ready with his Graviton. Can Raytech follow it up? Does he get in there with the Pulse Bomb? It is ticking off. It does go off, but there's a lot of shields on that team. Does not get the kills he is looking for.
Yeah, not at all. And Laser, you know, he did drop the sound barrier, but I think he didn't get his entire team. Only flipped some members of the team. And meanwhile, Spirit is in the back line, trying to create a lot of mess. Gets eventually taken down by Laser, but right now that's a good trade inside the defense. They're fine trading that, and now they're going to stagger everyone down. So Laser gets taken down so late in the fight, and now they're just going to get staggered again. But on the plus side right now, the side of the offense right now doesn't have a lot of tools. They I mean, they had a great momentum push and had a great job pushing through this initial CC phase. But right now, they got to wait on Bonnie, but they have no offensive abilities to really take charge of this. Midnight still has his Graviton Surge, so they can punish that choke point push that inherently they're going to go through. And, you know, this is all about building time. This is all about stalling out the defense. All they need to do is one quick Graviton Surge.
Another secret Graviton comes out from Midnight. They did not see him. He was hiding, but the Transcendence does a great job of mitigating all of that follow-up damage. Spirit and Retzi trying to go crazy right now. Fear has got his Dragon Blade going, but it's going to be answered by Spirit's Dragon Blade as well. Everyone is so weak. Spirit on the cleanup gets 2. Midnight chimes in and gets a 3rd, so that is the cleanup. Midnight is playing KGB Zarya right now. He is a spy. He is stealthy. No one ever sees him. That is the second Graviton that he has gotten where they did not know where he was. He's hiding in corners. It is a style of Zarya play that I have nearly never seen before.
Yeah. Oh man, the time is up, and that's not super great if you can't even push through the second street phase. And you know, never know King's Row, especially after that first point. Honestly, if the offense takes that first one very demandingly, they have a lot of ultimate advantages taking to the street phase, and that street phase is literally one good team wipe from being completed. So the fact they couldn't even get to the end of that, honestly, is not a huge positive sign for the offense and now on the side of the defense. But honestly, I definitely agree with you. That was just some very, very, very solid Zarya play. He's basically taking advantage of the fact that, you know, hey, no one, I keep on saying this, no one checks their corners, but more importantly, his main goal is to really stall out the entire fight, and he knows his win condition is, especially in the context of checking all the other ultimates, he knows, hey, no one on my team has, you know, an ultimate up and ready. So basically, I can't depend on, you know, my ultimate to really be used as like a wombo combo tool. I can't really have it used as like immediate follow-up. So what I'm going to do is, all I'm going to do is stall out. I'm going to catch them out of position, and I'm going to let my team do the rest of the work and punish them. So in that case, he needs to stay alive. He needs to make sure that they are not sure where that Zarya is coming from. And you're exactly right. That's a very strong, you know, style of Zarya that we haven't seen a lot of, because a lot of Zaryas are more in your face, trying to absorb, you know, damage on their shield to gain that charge and gain that extra damage. But he played extremely well, and I mean, Locke, you can see how frustrated Locke is. Locke is like, I want him to be the hero of this game, and just blows himself up.
Since the very beginning of Overwatch, it might have been GosuGamers Weekly number 2, I've been screaming at people to check their corners. It's always been Reaper, like on Numbani, on Dorado last, but like I would definitely honestly do a PSA style commercial. If there's video producers out there, hit me up, that millions of Overwatch games each year are lost simply because people don't check their corners. Just look to your left, just flick your mouse. I know these people play at super low sensitivity so that that flick of the mouse takes a giant arm movement, but there's been so many times where teams have straight up lost games because they can't check their corner.
Yeah, and right now this initial push looks to be relatively aggressive, but like it's the same thing as they did on, I think, our last one also. But Spirit is, you know, playing that offensive game, but he's playing without any real backline support. But immediately gets put in the backline. Spirit is able to reflect so much of the initial damage off of that, but Indy just gets taken down by Midnight with so much damage. It's fine that Spirit goes down right now, but that great flashbang mitigates, stops some of the offensive push, but Fear grabs on and is able to pull, you know, Midnight in, and the rest of it is just old news right now. Retzi does take down Fear, and Locke takes down Banny, so this is a really positive move forward. They push the defense off for the point, and you know, he's just trying to hide out in the hotel room, trying to buy some time.
That's super late. They might try to come back in here, but Bunny was hoping that the rest of his team was going to get there before they were able to spot him out. They are going to try to trickle onto this, but they dodge that. The Earthshatter comes down in the backlines. It's just laser up. Only a sound barrier for 3. I am not in love with that sound barrier at all. The jump in late from Banny as well does end up getting cleaned up, and those are some pretty late deaths there.
Yeah, and what's worse is that Banny dies immediately after they take the point, meaning he has a slightly longer respawn than he originally did. I mean, obviously it doesn't matter in the grand scope of things because the payload moves super slowly, but that does mean he isn't able to immediately meet up with the rest of the team and does delay the rest of that push this time. But right now, they're going to have a lot of time to take the street space, and I would not be surprised to see Spirit potentially go for a big flank, try to abuse the fact that, hey, they're playing super passive right now. They're not really looking for a lot of aggression.
Sound barrier comes in as they try to take Retzi out of the fight. He is still alive, trying to get it down, but there comes the Dragon Blade, stunned out immediately. Fear versus Retzi in the back line. Spirit is the final cleanup after Retzi hits a nice headshot. That is 2 quick kills from the offense here, and they just made the defense come in on them. They didn't do anything super fancy there. They weren't being super aggressive. Retzi continues on the cleanup crew as he takes down his opposing number in Raytech. People can make names for themselves on McCree. Retzi has been just a star for this Rise Nation squad.
Yeah, and I mean, Retzi takes down Fury again, and Fury all he wanted to do was, you know, stop the payload and stop moving, but that's just not.
Look at Scope.
That
That's a victory blossom. That's what that is.
Man, Retzi just going insane on that last point right there. But a big thing was, I don't necessarily understand why they engaged into that fight. It almost seemed like they were just trying to, you know, trying to buy some time, trying to abuse the fact that, hey, you know, maybe they won't expect it. Maybe they don't like the defense being so aggressive. But you have to remember, you don't have a lot of the ultimates. You probably, honestly, have been losing DM fights. The team's not all together. And, you know, I mean, at least Laser gets this out of the entire thing.
You were right. Hey, you called it. You said maybe he just wants the play of the game. Well, mission accomplished, banner up. That is 5 res. Huge res. Everyone dies immediately after this. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, but 5-man res, and this is the second 5-man res we've seen, so welcome back to the era of Mercy's not helping your team. This is mainly for your competitive play. I don't think it's mainly for professional play either. But I mean, at the same time, that was just kind of unfortunate on the scope of King's Row. When you get beaten that hard in terms of, you know, on that first point, not able to defend it, your second point has to be super stalling. That's something a lot of defenses aren't really thinking about. A lot of them are thinking about, hey, if we engage, if we can win this fight, that's super positive for us. But you just lost the fight. You probably don't have a lot of ultimates to, you know, in order to counteract, you know, hey, that Reaper might have Death Blossom. That might be a huge game changer. But they didn't bother thinking about that at all. So they just went in on the engage. While I do, you know, honestly, I do agree that a defense being aggressive is something a lot of offenses don't expect, and that does take them off guard. You do still have to account for the ultimates on the other team. You can't just look and say, like, well, you know, it's a completely even fight. It was just like the first point. You can't just wipe that out of your head, because there's so much that they bring over in terms of momentum, in terms of ultimates from the first fight, and unfortunately, that's just how the cookie crumbled.
Mercy mains, send all of your comments to @ScribeOW. That's a 1 in there, not an I. I didn't say anything bad about Mercy. That was Scribe who said all of that. Thanks for everyone joining us today. This is the GosuGamers North America Weeklies number 19. Our next set, and I'm going to try to stagger these, I hope so, because our next set is going to be Rise Nation vs. FaZe, which I promised everyone, so we have to do that. I put it in the coming attractions anyway, so we're definitely doing that. It does look like it might be a collision between Kongdu versus Tempo Storm in our other quarterfinal, or semi-quarter something, the other side of the bracket before we go to the winners grand final. So we're going to try to stagger that going forward, but we're already getting FaZe in here. Maybe we can just stick around. No commercial break for us.
Yeah, I mean, I'm super excited to see exactly what this